Hello and welcome to One Voice, Shelter and Shelter Scotland's carol concert, brought to you from the beautiful St Martin in the Fields, here in the heart of central London, where we will be singing for home, hope and change. We have a great evening ahead, full of carols, inspiring stories and some very special guests. If you want to sing along, you'll find the words at the bottom of the screen, so let's get started with the majestic Once in Royal David's City.
Once in Royal David's city stood a lonely cattle shed, where a mother laid her baby in a manger for his bed.
Shelter holds wonderful carol concerts like this to help fight the national emergency that is homelessness. This year, we're back in St Martin in the Fields, where Shelter was founded in 1966. Since then, Shelter has been campaigning for homes that are safe, secure and affordable. At Shelter and Shelter Scotland, we believe home is a fundamental human need and basic human right. That's why tonight we're here to make a difference by singing for home, singing for hope, and singing for change. Please lend your support to Shelter's campaign to end homelessness. To make a donation of £10, text HOME to 70422, or you can donate any amount online by going to shelter.org.uk/carols. Together we can fight this national emergency and end homelessness. This event wouldn't be possible without our event sponsor and long-standing partner, Nationwide Building Society. This year, Shelter are proud to be celebrating 20 years in partnership with Nationwide, working together with the shared belief that everyone needs a safe and secure home. We are hugely grateful to them for matching up to £50,000 of your donations tonight, double the reason to get involved. Tonight is all about coming together, so we would love you to post videos or share photos of you enjoying the evening at home. Tag us at Shelter or at Shelter Scotland on your social media channels and unite with us as one powerful voice. Now I'll hand you over to the choir for our second sing-along carol this evening. This winter, people will unite with their loved ones to sing for home, hope, and change. Now more than ever, we need to come together as one powerful voice in the fight against the housing emergency. Tonight we have a special story from Shelter. I'm joined by Crystal Rose, who's been fighting for nearly 3 years to secure a safe home for her and her daughter. Crystal Rose, thank you so much for joining us. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So me and my daughter were living in a one-bedroom masonette, and it was literally covered in damp and mould for like 2 years. And it got so extreme. We would stay in the kitchen for like most of the day because the bedroom would be covered in black mould.
How old is your daughter?
She's 3. She was a young baby at the time that it did start. We lost so many possessions. The mould literally ate my daughter's bed.
Wow.
As a mother, it killed me, seeing my child, suffering, and there was nothing that I could do. It was beyond control.
I can't even imagine how hard that is.
Mentally, I had to do counselling. It literally broke me down on so many levels.
It's just a situation you shouldn't be in.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
Well, I reported it to the environmental officer. She came round and she kind of tried to downplay it and act like, oh, it's nothing. That affected me mentally even more, the fact that you tried to make it seem like there was nothing going on. I was issued with eviction, about to become homeless.
So you got evicted because you were kicking up a fuss about the living situation?
Yeah.
So how did you fight? What did you do next?
So I contacted Shelter and let them know what was going on when I received, the Section 21 and everything. They already knew about the damp and mould situation. Shelter was supporting me. Mm-hmm. They were part of the whole process. I had a legal representative in Shelter working on my case, and she just kept pushing and fighting.
Okay.
48 hours before I knew where I was going to live, I got the call and I had to accept over the phone. And together, we ended up securing this place for us.
That must have felt incredible.
Yeah, it was so much emotions at once, but it was amazing to know that we weren't going to be on the streets, and that we were going to have a roof over our head without damp and mould.
The absolute relief.
Yeah. Sometimes I think, oh my God, I really went through that.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really went through that.
And you shouldn't have to, and with your daughter as well.
But now I'm fighting harder. I'm finding myself again. My daughter's got her own bedroom for the first time, so that's really lovely.
Nice.
And we've got a living room now. She's happier. I feel so much better within myself. I feel stronger than I've ever felt before.
So you feel like your head's in the right place now?
I'm out of that black hole.
Nice.
I'm into the light. And I know that the future has to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to make it.
Crystal Rose, thank you so much for sharing your story. You're an inspiration, and I hope everything goes really well for you and your wee girl. Your support helps us work with people like Crystal Rose in their fight to secure a place to call home. So tonight, if you can, please give £10 by texting HOME to 70422, or you can donate any amount online by going to the Shelter website.
Jesus
Shelter is a national charity, and this week friends and supporters will be gathering around the country to watch special screenings of this concert, uniting as one powerful voice. The screening in Liverpool will be extra special as it's being visited by the Liverpool Indie Choir, who've taken the time to record a performance to share with us all.
Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Not only green in summer seas, but also winter, snow and seas. Oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Oh Christmas tree, of all the trees most lovely. Oh Christmas tree, of all the trees most lovely. Each year you bring to us a light, with brightly shining Christmas lights. Oh Christmas tree, of all the trees most lovely. Oh Christmas tree, we learn from all your beauty. Oh Christmas tree, we learn from all your beauty. Your bright green leaves with festive cheer give hope and strength throughout the year. Oh Christmas tree, we learn from all your beauty.
Well, wasn't that fantastic? Thank you so much to the Liverpool Indie Choir for that very special performance. Next, we have a beautiful poem to share with you that was co-written by 9 people with experience of unfit housing or homelessness. Developed through a series of workshops covering poetry writing, filmmaking, and the housing emergency, Jenga explores the impact of housing insecurity on mental health.
Drip, drip leaves brown stains. Ghosts above keep me awake, dancing against my eyelids.
Isolated and alone. What's this place people call home?
Drip, drip. Ripe hostility. Go back to your own country. You colonized me.
I find it hard to tell my story, or even where to begin.
Long, long, long ago, fate threw the dead dogs at me. I fell through the cracks.
I know. What can I say? Miss him too. I know.
Please lend your support by donating £10 tonight. Text HOME to 70422, or you can donate any amount online by going to the shelter website.
Lay
When you've got disabilities, it makes it a lot more difficult to get up and down the stairs, even with a little bit of shopping. The property wasn't built for a disabled person, and I find that stairs are a major problem. And I've come down on those stairs and injured myself.
A donation to shelter can really help support people like Perry. Text HOME to 70422 to give £10 or donate any amount online via our website. Still to come, we have a special reading from some very familiar faces. We hear more stories from around the country, and of course, we have more sing-along carols. During our next carol, we hear the beautiful choral scholars of St Martin in the Field, and we take a moment to remember those who are no longer with us, including some of our very special Shelter and Shelter Scotland supporters. Thanks for staying with us. We hope you're enjoying this festive evening. Still to come, we hear from the Chief Executive of Shelter, Polly Neat, and we'll be lifting the roof off this magnificent building with Ding Dong Merrily on High. But first, we have a well-known reading from some very well-known friends.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in the hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads.
And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had settled our brains for a long winter's nap.
When, out on the lawn,
there arose such a clatter.
I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter.
Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash.
The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the lustre of midday to objects below.
When, what to my wondering eyes should appear
but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer.
With a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick.
More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name.
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen.
On Comet, on Cupid, on Dunder and Blixen.
To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all.
And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof.
As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound.
He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself.
A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread.
He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk.
And laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod up the chimney, he rose.
He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle.
And away they all flew like the down of a thistle.
But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight,
Happy Christmas to all. And to all, a good night.
If there's one thing I can say about my colleagues at Shelter over the past year, it's that it doesn't matter how long it takes to find an answer, we never give up hope. Sometimes, when we're working alongside someone who's living in a situation which, frankly, would utterly defeat most people, me included, and I often think that, hope is the most important thing we bring. People do far more for themselves than we do for them, but without hope, the struggle is sometimes too much. But with safety and hope, change is possible. That's why at Shelter we build on our work with individuals by striving for change in local communities and across the country. Until our country is willing to invest in homes that people on low incomes can afford, each journey we travel on with each individual we help will be so much longer than it should be, and hope will be harder to keep alive. At Shelter, we have a mantra: we are one Shelter. It means that our frontline services, our campaigns, and everyone in our organisation has one purpose: to defend the right to a safe home. But during the pandemic, one Shelter felt like something bigger to me. Our supporters, campaigners, corporate partners, all of you have had our backs in what has been the most difficult time in our history. We, here today, are one Shelter. And because of that, many people have come through unthinkable hardships, and Shelter is as ready as ever to defend the right to a safe home. I want to thank you so much for that.
To make a donation of £10, text HOME to 70422, or you can donate any amount online by going to the Shelter website.
Ding dong merrily on high, in heaven bells are
Well, what a finale to end a very special night. Thank you for joining us here at our Shelter Carol concert. Thank you to the choral scholars of St Martin in the Fields for singing for us this evening. Thank you also to all our special guests and, of course, to our sponsors, Nationwide Building Society, who will be matching up to £50,000 of your donations tonight. If you've enjoyed this evening, please don't forget to follow Shelter, or you can donate £10 by texting HOME to 70422. You can do that as many times as you like. It really does make a huge difference. And from all of us here at St Martin's in the Field, we wish you a very Merry Christmas.